Hello, my name is Mr. Bill, and I am an exhibit program specialist at the Cincinnati Museum Center. And today, for Wonder Zone, I'm going to be talking all about paper mache. We're going to be learning some techniques, some do's and don'ts, things that I like to do when I'm using paper mache. I like to take my craft to the next level. So today, I'm going to show you how to do that. There are a lot of materials we need for paper mache. First, you're going to need a lot of glue. I like Elmer's glue, it sticks good. However, the cheap imitation of this works just fine, absolutely no problem if you want to use it. When making paper mache, a lot of times you're going to mix a bunch of materials together to make a paste. I'm not going to do that. I'll get into more detail in a moment, but first let me show you the rest of the materials. So we've got our glue. I like to use clay, Sculpty. It is a oven-baked clay. You can use any variety of oven-baked clay. If you don't have an oven-baked clay, that's okay. It can be anything. I use this for simple elements like teeth, horns, things like that. I like to use masking tape, lots and lots of masking tape. Get plenty of this in different sizes if you need it. Some people like the really thick stuff. I like the standard size, it's kind of in the middle, but they also sell this relatively thin. And lots of paper. I'm using newspaper, and one of the things that sets this type of mache apart is I like to do paper mache. I also like to do cloth mache, and I'll be showing you some of that later as well. For the cloth that you use, I find the best thing is old used bed sheets. If you have some bed sheets lying around, or you can find some that you can rip up and cut into, make sure you get your parents' permission to do this. And this is what I use to coat the outside of most of my projects. It creates a really cool feel and texture on the outside final product. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to take some Elmer's glue. I'm going to pour it into a bowl. And that's it. I do not like to mix in water. I do not like to mix in flour. I just use glue. It works just as well, and it's not going to create a mess in the final product. All these structures that I have here, I didn't use anything but just basic glue in a bowl. So, in order to create anything, in these cases, if you want to create a creature like I did, the first thing you need to do is create the shape. And I do that with paper and tape. It's a fantastic sculpting material. You can just ball it up like this. And I'm going to use lots of this tape to hold its shape. Now here I just have a ball. If I continue to add on to this, I can go long. I can kind of squish it and shape it how I want. So if I want this piece to be a little thinner on the front, I can go tight with my tape. And then looser back here. And that's going to start to create a shape, which I can use to come up with whatever kind of creature I want to make. In this case, I'm going to be doing what I like to do best, is creating dragons. So I've already made a couple of balls to use today. Here's just a balled up piece of paper. Here's two. This one's a little wider, this one's a little thinner. And then I also created a little bowl shape using these exact same techniques. When you're curling up your paper to create a bowl shape, just raise the edges a little bit, wrap your tape around it, it will hold together and you'll be able to create something just like this super easy. And I'm going to start adding these shapes together to create the basic of what I want my critter to look like. So I want an open mouth. So I'm going to use this bowl as the bottom part of my mouth, and I'm going to use this as the top. And this is easy. I'm just going to use this tape here. Tape them together. And with this, more tape is usually better. Feel free to use as much as you need to hold your shapes together. With a little bit of tape, they might fall apart. Okay, so now I have a basic open mouth shape. And I'm going to give this guy a neck using this other ball. Again, just tape it on there. Pretty simple. All right, I now have the basic starting position for my creature that I want to make. And here's where I'm going to start talking about some of those techniques about making it unique, giving it life, giving it lots of cool little features. And one of the things I like to do is create eyes. You'll notice in my sculptures here, they have really cool eyes here on this guy. And there's a couple ways you can create these. I like to use these little glass gems, which are commonly used in fish bowls. I always make sure I get the clear ones, and these are small, but you can also buy them large. Here's a large one that I've painted an eye on the back. I just painted the black part first, and then the outside color, and I created a pretty cool eye that can be attached and used for your creature. Here is one that was done with a marker. I used black to make a line, and then I made it red, and that's the one I'm going to be using today to create my critter. So you decide where you want your eye. In this case, I'm going to put it right about here. And I'm going to use a hot glue gun to attach my eyeball. A little bit of glue. And now my creature already has quite a bit of life by giving him that. But eyes normally don't just bulge out like that. They have eyelids and other features. So let me show you how to create one of those. Using, again, just this tape. I'm going to go over the top, create an overtop eyelid. Then I'm going to go on the bottom and overlap just a little bit, which is going to give my eye a lot of life. Now, let's talk about the paper mache part. You want to coat this entire thing with paper mache, and we're going to use paper for the first part. So, take your newspaper. When we're using paper mache, you're going to tear it into strips. I like to use thicker strips. Feel free to use thinner ones if you like, but we're going to coat this in glue. So you're going to take your entire strip, dip it down into your bowl of glue. You want a nice even coating. So you pull it out of there. You're going to use both hands, and yes, this is going to get your hands very sticky and messy. You're going to spread that glue all the way across your piece. If you are wise, it's a good idea to take your rings off before doing this. You will end up with a piece that looks like this. It's sticky, it's gluey, but I'm going to try to get all that excess glue off back into my bowl. You'll notice that in this video, I've used a tarp. It's a good idea to tarp your surroundings so you're not getting everything sticky or be in an area that doesn't matter if you get glue on things. And you're going to wrap this around your sculpture, which is going to make it very sticky. I'm going to put extra detail here on the eye using this paper mache by folding the paper as I attach it. Now doing this, you can create the entire outside skin. If you want to take it a step further, once it's completely covered with the paper mache, you can do the cloth mache. And that's the same idea. You're just going to take your cloth and you're going to dip that in the glue instead of the paper. It'll work exactly the same. It looks really nice on the final project. But I want to show you how to add on special features. So we're going to do a little more hot glue. And I use Sculpty to create little teeth. Now those teeth, you're going to line them around the outside of your sculpture, and you can make a whole bunch or just a few, however you like. I've done a few with only 2 teeth. And you're going to use the exact same techniques of taking paper, ripping it into strips, dipping it in glue, and in this case, I'm only going to use a small piece. So let me rip this. And I want to wrap this tooth in this paper. I'm going to go up like that. And if you wrap every single tooth, it's going to create a really cool final product. And you can use this to create anything, any creatures. You can create, like I did here, dragons. There is an artist. If you like these dragons and you want to see more dragon work using paper mache, look up the artist Dan Reeder. He's on YouTube, he's got a lot of cool videos, and he's got some books that you can buy that'll tell you the step-by-step process to create dragons and monsters and all sorts of neat things out of paper mache. And that's all the time we have for Wonder Zone. Thank you so much. Hope you had a lot of fun, maybe learned something new. Tune in next week for more fun videos.